Hi there, Newport community. We wanted to take a moment to send a quick update on how we're attending to the outdoor spaces in this process of working with 6B Workshop to engage in kind of the landscaping across our campus. And so we wanted to let you know that 6B has worked with us in the last week. They did a kind of a community engagement phase. And so they sent out an online survey that had over 70 participants. And so we want to thank you for your engagement and for all the incredible feedback that you provided. They also then came and facilitated a Sunday morning kind of quick town hall where there was an interactive way for us to kind of see in live in real time these different things that would emerge. And so some of the things that kind of really emerged were spaces for seating. And I think that really speaks to the value of who Newport is as a community, that we really want to be in real community. And so that's such a great way that our outside spaces can reflect that value of who we have and who we are. The other thing that kind of emerged from that kind of engagement was that we want these things to be accessible to our kids. I love and I'm so proud of our community that kids are just such a vital part of how we do ministry, how we do life together. And so one of the things that talked about is how do we make this space engaging for kids? And the third thing that really emerged was this idea of accessibility. How can we make sure that our space is available and accessible to all people, that there are spaces for us to gather and engage in real community together? And so 6B then also came on Wednesday, and they facilitated a project with their preschoolers. They filled out these kind of tiles, they colored them, they're beautiful, and hopefully those will get incorporated down the road. And then they also came on Wednesday nights and engaged with our kids ministry and our youth ministry. And it was such a great opportunity because it really felt like our kids are a part of this, and it really built up this energy and this momentum. There was a lot of excitement. Our own daughter is in the preschool, and so she got to do the preschool activity, and she couldn't wait to come back and engage with Michael and Shantae in the evening. And so it just created this momentum and this energy behind what we're doing and attending to this as a whole church community. And so you'll find a link down below that gives results of all of those things, kind of a summary of all of that community engagement and that activity. So please feel free to peruse that as you want and kind of to maybe do some skimming through all of the different ideas and the different input. But what 6B is then doing is they're kind of collating all that information, and that's driving us in kind of to our next gathering, which will be on May 10th. And so one of the things that's emerged is kind of these 4 areas of emphasis, just to give you a reminder. So where I am back here, there's kind of this passageway from the north parking lot to the kind of front entrance that right now just has kind of some drainage. And there are these big, beautiful, picturesque windows in the sanctuary. And so that space we're now kind of calling the garden, because we really want to say, how can that be an intentional space for meeting with God, but how can it also create some accessibility and some passageway to get from the back part of our parking lot to kind of get back to here. And then the space that I'm standing in is called the gateway, because we really see this as an opportunity both to gather together, but also to be a gateway to help people engage and come into our building, to come and find spaces to meet with one another. And then the other space that they're talking about now is there's kind of this overhang in our building, but that's a really natural spot for us to get from kind of the back of the building to the other side of the building. And so they're going to call that the boardwalk. So how do we create kind of an accessible path and space for us to get from one side to the other? And then just beyond that, kind of where the preschool and the youth entrance is called the overlook, because one of the things they really have heard is, how do we create these gathering spaces? How do we make opportunities for people to be together? And are there tiered seating? And is there different ways to engage those things? And so all of these ideas are going to be shown in sketches on May 10th of what we're calling the 6B Workshop. See what we did there? And so they're going to have these big boards printed out of all these different potential configurations for these different spaces. And the hope is that you'll be able to come and kind of in an informal way provide some feedback again on what makes sense to you and what maybe you don't really like. And they're doing that really intentionally so we can kind of get to parse out, what do we really want this space to look like as a community? And so those will be up kind of all Wednesday evening. And so as you're still coming for classes or for food or whatever you may come for, even if you just want to come for dinner and engage those things for a few minutes and then head home, those are available. We're also going to have those on kind of a rolling stand. So those will also be over here in the lobby on Sunday. So if you're not here on Wednesday, you still have plenty of opportunity to provide feedback, to engage in this. But we're really excited just for then how they'll take those kinds of initial sketches and drawings, and they'll kind of bring that together then to hopefully one kind of final big master plan that we can then keep editing and refining until we get to a place where we feel like this is really what we want us to be about. And so we just want to encourage you to continue to be in prayer for how can we create a space that reflects our values as a community, that we gather, that we are meeting together, and that this space becomes inviting and welcoming to both our current community and to our community as a whole. And so we also want to say, if you have any other questions or if we can help clarify anything, you can reply directly to this email so that we can help kind of respond to those questions and make sure we all feel like we understand how we're going to keep moving forward in this process, so that our exterior spaces can be places where we meet with God and we meet with one another and mirror the values of who we are as a community. And so we invite you to continue to join us as we discover maybe where God is leading us in this process. We'll talk to you soon.